Fearless Creators. I'm so excited to have with me here today the one and only Michael Huey. And I'm going to share with you a bit about him and why he's the perfect person to speak on the topic that he'll be presenting on in the Fearless Creator Summit. Michael is originally from Lancaster, Ohio. After high school, he attended the Ohio State University, where he was a 4-year letterman in track and field. He also received a degree in nutrition, exercise science, and sports management. He was recently nominated for an honorary PhD in nutrition. Michael also received a 8-year theology degree in Christian studies from Christian Life School of Theology and is a licensed minister. He's a master educator for the American Council of Exercise, 25 plus certifications from fitness, nutrition to anti-aging, and he's the founder and CEO of He Influence, the #1 problem-solving coaching company on the planet. He also has a podcast called the He Influence Podcast with over 125 episodes, and he has numerous awards. And having spent so much time in the Florida area, Tampa Bay, 25 plus years together with his wife, they love God and they're serving others. And I'm just so delighted that he's here today because he has such a wealth of knowledge to share with us. Welcome, Michael.
Stacy, thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm so excited to be a part of your summit. I'm so to be able to pour into your community and to partner with you on this journey to building the kingdom and really just influencing the lives of so many people. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. Truly, we've been so blessed to connect with each other thanks to the power of the World Wide Web, right? And community. Amen. It's amazing how God works. And so I want to take this time. Of those who are listening are always curious to know what it is that people decide to fearlessly create as they're trying to decide for themselves. And so I'd love for you to share with us how you decided what it is you would fearlessly create in this season or in a previous season.
Well, I love the word fiercely, okay? And I believe that it really starts with the foundation of the scripture that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, right? A sound mind. And really, that's where it all started. Even if you look at the shield of Hefluence right here over my shoulder, there's actually an arrow that points up, and it talks about that's where our faith comes from. Our faith comes from the Lord. Like we hear this all the time, that fear is the absence of faith, right? Well, here's what I believe, okay? I believe that faith doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means facing fear and trusting that God's goodness is greater than your fear. Okay. So that's when we really step in and create fearlessly. And so I believe this, and this is what I'll say to finalize and put it all together in one, Stacy, is I feel like I have a moral responsibility to fearlessly create and to use the gifts and talents that God has given me. And that's where it finishes.
I love that. So you've defined for us, honestly, what it means in your terms and with how God has enlightened you on this journey to be a fearless creator. And you create so many amazing things with even access to different membership or course or of course your podcast and in these different seasons. I'd love for you to just share a little bit about how you plan to go about creating fearlessly. Do you have a routine or do you have a system and a way to go forth and fearlessly create?
Yes. And I think being fearless means to stand on my core values. Okay. My core values of love, honesty, integrity, and humility. All right. To fulfill God's perfect will upon my life. Right. Like I've realized that a lot of us can spend a lot of time in God's permissible, right? But I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great coach. I want to be a minister. I want to be a nutritionist. I want to be a friend, right? And I believe that we need to live a legacy and leave a legacy that truly in God's eyes inspires others to be the best version of themselves. And so yeah, that's one of the best important things that I can say is that that's what's most important, is encouraging and teaching and guiding and staying connected to those core values. And because what I've realized is people are always watching. They're always watching your consistency. They're always watching your intentionality. And I think for me, those are what's most important.
Yeah, so this deep rooted idea of knowing that you want to encourage and be the blessing that God has purposed you to be helps guide you, I'm sure, into what you need to create next, right? And I'd love for you to just give us a peek into maybe any way that you have established a routine in your own day to day life so that you can fulfill those things that will allow you to encourage others and will allow you to create the programs or the podcast that will make a difference in the lives of others who are called to you and what it is you've been called to produce.
Absolutely. I believe time is everything, right? Like you and I, when we like, you're super intentional like me. You like to know what we're going to talk about and be structured and give questions and stuff, right? And so, through my platform, through my ministry, through having live events, but what I believe most important is timing is everything, right? Like it starts with how you start your day, right? Stace, like you've heard me say this in Clubhouse in different rooms, like, I break mine up into three categories. Okay. I have a morning routine and then what I call an advancement routine. Okay. Which is with clients, platform stuff, content, the whole nine yards, what I'm doing to further my purpose in the kingdom. Right. And then I have what I call an evening routine. And so, you look at the morning routine. Actually, it's funny, Stacey. This was fine tuned by a 17-year-old, okay, that literally wrote 9 books before the age of 15. Okay. And he did it very similar, but I just kind of took it and put it in my words, right? And so, whether that morning routine is, for me, hydration, prayer, devotions, exercise, meal prep, and then prepping for that advancement routine, right? These stages will only work if you set boundaries, right? No distractions, super intentional and planning it out. And I think that's what's most important is that when you have this type of routine at the end of the day, when I'm doing my evening routine, I make sure that I was successful on the things that I planned out for that day, right? And when you're fiercely intentional, right? Or you're fiercely setting boundaries or moving forward to your purpose, that's where it starts. It starts with staying consistent and intentional. It was really funny, and this is where I'll land with this is, my word for last year was intentional, and my word for this year was consistent. And I believe you have to constantly be building upon that, being intentional and then carrying intentionality into being consistent. And I think that that's what's most important when you're looking at timing and really advancing the things and using the gifts and talents and tools that God has given you.
Amen. That is so powerful. When you couple those two concepts and those two ways of being, it's amazing what you can truly accomplish as a fearless creator, someone called to create in this season and beyond, reflecting God's image. I love that. I want you to share with us why people should tune in to your session that we'll be able to have recorded in a moment, and they'll be able to really glean and grow and receive the wisdom when it comes to impactful strategies to increase your wealth and health so you can create and overcome mediocrity. Why should they tune in for that?
Well, I like that question because it's the longest question that you gave me, right? And we constantly, like, you're preparing for motherhood, right? Like that's going to change your life, right? It's going to be different. You've already begun to experience that, right? Like, and I think, I was talking to this with a friend of mine, a close friend of ours, Joe Sugg, and we began to dive into some of those thoughts and processes and things that we go through when it comes to our finances. But when you gave me my title, when we talked about you giving me my title, and I'll be honest with you, Stacey, I love it when people give me a title, right? When they say, hey, here's what I'd really like to hear you speak about. And then I take experiences, I take other talks that I've done and I combine them in one because, like even when I think about, I just finished this book again for the second time, John Sweet Maxwell's book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0. And he says they asked him why he rewrote the book 30 years later. And he said, well, I'm not the same person I was 30 years ago, right? Like I've grown, I've evolved, you know? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking 7 steps that will help you overcome mediocrity in your health that will lead to wealth. I believe our health is part of our wealth. I see some people that maybe are wealthy, but they're not healthy spiritually or mentally or physically, emotionally, right? And I believe that you'll have better relationships. I believe you'll have better impact. And here's what I truly believe. I believe mediocrity should never be an option. Okay. To be honest with you, I believe it should never be an option, especially from God's perspective of how he's created us, right? He even said that we would do greater things than he did. So, especially if you know your why, like, why are you doing this? Why, if you're a kingdom entrepreneur and you're doing things that you're doing for him, why are you truly doing this, right? Are you doing it for God? Are you doing it for family? Are you doing it for those around you? And this is what I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach you how to take mediocrity completely off the table. That's it. Completely off the table, and that you can thrive and strive to be all that God's called you to be and be healthy in every area of your life.
Wow, if that alone doesn't get people excited about the possibilities in their lives, I don't know what will. Everyone needs and sees, hopefully, the value of health, but everyone wants wealth. And I love that you've put those two together and you're helping to equip and teach and instruct in the ways that that is possible because you've lived it. And we don't want to just strive for it. We actually want to grab a hold of what that means in our own life, what that looks like and can look like. I want you to share about your freebie because linked below is the opportunity for them to access the freebie that you've included, and then also touch a little bit on what you've included in the Power Pack for those who've upgraded to the VIP all access pass and Power Pack. So they'll get that premium access and product when they also have opted in and have taken advantage of that particular offer. Tell us about the
That's
freebie
awesome.
and the Power Pack
So,
item.
so I believe that I'm going to show you in the freebie a taste of what you're going to get in the Power Pack. Okay. I grew up in the era of the Little Rascals. I'm showing my age now, Stacy. And they always dangled the carrot, right? And if you really wanted the carrot, then you made the effort to get everything that you wanted from it, right? Like we didn't just eat half the carrot, right? We look at the information, and I'm going to give you things that thousands of people have downloaded in our cheat sheet, and the things that you can use to implement, because I believe the difference between the wisdom and the knowledge that you learn from me is the action that you take. And what you're going to get in if you decide to opt in and get more and see the bigger picture in the Pro Pack, is you're going to get access, a 1 month access to my platform. Now, I'm just going to say this boldly and intentional, Stacy, that we have spent over $250,000 inside of this platform. You're going to get access to health, wealth, nutrition. You will never have to go anywhere else. People pay thousands of dollars to coach with me. I train CEOs of companies, professional athletes. Everything that we've put into this packet for a very small fee, you're going to have now. You're going to not going to have daily access like they do, but you're going to have access to all of the same things that they have access to. You're going to be able to learn from the masterminds that we were a part of, and videos and content from those. You're going to be able to learn from my friend Mark Lack, who, if you've ever flown Delta, you'll see the business rock stars. I did a personal $10,000 VIP day with him where I videotaped everything. You're going to have access to that. There's just so much stuff. You're going to have a lot of stuff that will help you in your journey at becoming a better fearless creator, a better fearless health professional, a better fearless wealth professional, and everything that you do will be right inside that, and you'll have access to that for a whole month. So I hope that gives you guys some excitement and some understanding of the magnitude. I told Stacy that, I gave this to one of my friends in my mastermind, and he ran with it. And I went through some things in my life, and I drug my feet with it. And I had a financial setback of somebody that we brought into our business, but I knew God kept teaching me. And my friend went and built a 7-figure business of things that I taught him inside of the platform. And he now has over 15,000 people in his platform. Okay. And it's built him a multiple 7-figure business. And now I'm launching what I taught him inside of my platform, but mine's just going to be better than his. So hope that helped.
Yes, speak, power, life. It's going to
Yeah.
happen. I love that. Thank you for your generosity, Michael, and being able to figure out a way to get what God has put inside of you to the masses and making sure that you're always improving so that you can continue to bring the best to those who've been assigned to you. And so we definitely want
Amen.
to implore you as you're listening to this, you don't want to delay. You want to take advantage of the freebie to get a taste, right? That particular opportunity with the perfect health cheat sheet, and then you'll have the opportunity to just get a taste of what more you can have access to when you have the VIP Power Pack All Access. And Michael so generously has given you that 1 month access, and then he is one of many of our speakers who've contributed such tremendous value that you are able to run with as you fearlessly create. And of course, as our theme says, use your gifts, be fearless and profitable. Michael, I want to go ahead and have you have your opportunity to share with us on your topic because I know everyone's excited for it. And we're just so excited about what God is doing to help those of us who have understanding, have knowledge, package it to create the strategies and the steps that's going to help them to get there. So over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm super excited to be able to share this with you today. I will say this, Stacey, I put a lot of time and effort into this. When you told me this, I spent a couple hours on, I don't usually work on Sundays, but Sunday night I spent a couple hours after 8 o'clock, right up until my bedtime, actually. I'm very intentional about my bedtime. And I came up with 7 impactful strategies to increase your health and wealth so you can create and overcome mediocrity.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael. That was so rich, empowering, and full of word that we can run with. And for those of you, as you are taking the time to note what specific things you need to take action on, remember, maximize the workbook. We're going to make sure to add those points in the document to that workbook that Michael is generously adding. He just keeps adding to the gifts, right? And we want it to be as simplified and streamlined for you to take action. He said that. You said that, Michael, over and over again. And while you were presenting, another thing I noticed, you are a reader. You not only speak about the fact that you need to make sure that you read and you learn and you don't remain complacent and be consistent in improving yourself even with the programs you're involved in and that you are creating yourself. It's all a part of that process. And so those quotes, those scriptures, everything, we've been fully equipped here today to really recognize the value in knowing that these are strategies that are impactful and intentional in allowing us to increase our health, our wealth. And God never created us to be average. We were meant to soar, to be excellent, and to represent Him as ambassadors, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And so I am
Amen.
just so appreciative that if you are in a place where you feel stagnant, as you heard Michael break down for you today, you can and you will overcome. Michael, any last words that you wish to share for live viewers here today and our listeners? And then we'll go ahead and just give our last call to action for those of you tuning in.
Awesome. Stacey, thank you so much. This has been awesome. I'll say this. I say this all the time. Even when I interview people on my podcast, I just learned a lot. Right? Like if you are super encouraged to be a constant learner, then when you learn this stuff, do like I said, take notes in the book, in the workbook, right? And take some actionable steps. Don't just hear in the scriptures. My grandmother said this, don't just be a hearer of the word, be a learner and a doer of the word, right? Like learn things and then take action, learn things and then take action. And so I think that you guys have allowed yourself to be a part of something big by being a part of this summit. but the only thing that will hold you back is the action that you take going forward. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Michael, for saying yes, for sharing your wisdom, expertise, and all that you have in really being able to equip others. And so we just want to remind you, as you're listening, as you're watching, and you're tuning in today, make sure to grab the freebie that is at the bottom and linked here on this page for Michael. And then if you did upgrade to the VIP All Access Power Pack, you will have access to all the other premium products, including that amazing 1 month access to all the amazing things that you just got a taste of, right? And we want you to make sure that you are reminded in this entire experience, sometimes you need accountability to take action, right? And we're making sure nothing slips through the crack. And you have a host of resources that we've pulled together and providing for you to let you know you are incomparable. The gift that is inside of you is incomparable. We want you to hone that, and we want you to be reminded of that, the unique calling that has been placed in your life. Use your gifts, be fearless and profitable. Until next time, see you all again very, very soon.